Welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. This week, we're going to recap Matt Fitzpatrick's win in Brookline, Brooks Koepka's shock announcement, and we'll preview the Travelers Championship, one of our favorite tournaments in Cromwell, Connecticut. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
Okay, let's get inside the ropes. A lot to talk about this week, Trev.
I know I've been gone for a while, and then everything just comes out all at once in the US Open, and golf is a crazy, crazy world right now.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. I don't even know where to really start, but I guess we should start with the US Open because you know what? That was a great tournament.
It was probably it's truly right up there with my favorite US Opens I've ever watched. It's like Rahm last year was great, but like there were 4 or 5 guys who thought could have a chance to win on going to Sunday, and then Rory ejected himself pretty quick. Rahm kind of did the same thing, but Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris both played pretty damn well, and especially in certain spurts, like Zalatoris with the front 9, and then Fitzpatrick obviously made the putt on 13, 15, and they were just battling, which is what we all wanted, the putt to win or putt to tie coming down to the end, and that's what we got. It didn't go in, but
even Scotty Scheffler starting off like on fire. Yeah. I think he was 4 under through 6. Just like, this is not a US Open, 4 under through 6, but
I know
it's cold off there.
Yeah, I kind of was. Saturday was so awesome in terms of like how difficult it was, and the greens were rock hard, and it was so fun to watch. And I was hoping for more that Sunday, and it rained, it didn't make it too easy though, which was good. Like, it didn't make the course just, you can hit the ball anywhere and be fine, I think that was the big deal about it. I think 11 was, you were sticking it pretty tight, everyone for the most part, but I mean, you still had to hit the shots, and you weren't if you did hit a bad shot, you were going to get penalized, which is what we all wanted to see.
Yeah. So let's talk about the winner, Matthew Fitzpatrick. First win on US soil, which is pretty amazing because he's a pretty good player. I think he's won 7 other times on the DP World Tour. I mean, he kind of added this distance to him, and ever since he's done that, he's just been like such a good player. Been knocking on the door for a while now. The crosshand chipping, which I tried in my backyard,
which we didn't even see that on Sunday. Like, I was looking,
he was hitting every green.
Yeah, he hit 17 greens.
Yeah,
like you said, he's top 25 in the world in strokes gained, driving, approach, around the green, and putting now, which and now he's number 10 in the world. That makes for a pretty damn good player, and he just got his first PGA Tour win, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this newfound distance has been everything for him, and like he
crushes the ball.
Yeah, he still doesn't hit it like the longest, but he still hits it like he hits it a lot longer than he used to, and he's not a big guy.
He hit it like, I think on Saturday. I don't know if 15 was downwind. The 15 has the road going across the fairway, basically, and 99% of the time, just people short of the road. On Saturday, Fitzpatrick was across the road, and then guys like Rory and Rahm were 10, 15 yards back of the road. Like, he was crushing the ball, and it's crazy to think like you wouldn't think that of someone his stature.
Yeah, no, and I wouldn't call it a Bryson transformation because Bryson really was hitting the ball like so far, but like for him, like he's gained probably as many yards as Bryson has gained when he was like playing. It's just like on a little bit of a different level because he's not as big as Bryson, but it's changed his game overall. You know, pretty cool that he won the USAM in 2013, I believe, at the Country Club, and then he comes back and wins the US Open at the Country Club.
Staying with the same family, everything like that.
Family. Honorary member now. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty cool to see. I think that was like one of the guys that I definitely wanted to see win this event. I mean, you picked him on the podcast, even though you weren't here last week. All 3 of us had him in our pool. So shout out Pat for winning the pool. Yeah, I mean, definitely there's not a lot of guys out there that I would have wanted to see win more than him. So good for him. And shout out to his caddy, Billy Foster. He's been around for 30 plus years and hasn't won a major yet, and this is his first major, so it's good to get a major for him as well.
Yeah, I definitely was. I was cheering for, basically I was rooting for 3 guys to win on Sunday. One was Rory, just because it's Rory, but if Rory wasn't going to win, I wanted either Zalatoris or Fitzpatrick, and we can get into Zalatoris next, but I couldn't be happy for Fitzpatrick. I found myself like almost rooting, not against Scheffler, but I just wanted to see Fitzpatrick or Zalatoris win. And it was just awesome to see that. And I'm just really happy for it. How good he's been. Like, I've been picking him for a while, and his stats are great. He was due for a win at some point. The story with the country club and the family and everything like that, it's so awesome. So I'm so happy to see that. And it was, again, awesome, amazing tournament. So
yeah, I think Dan Rappaport from Golf Digest wrote a really good article about him. They're pretty good friends from Northwestern, so definitely read that. They're talking about how like Matt Fitzpatrick is the type of guy, like they were celebrating the tournament, but like he was barely like even like drinking, like that, pretty much the opposite of what you would think like Shane Lowry's Open celebration was Matt Fitzpatrick's celebration. Just, very quiet, but like still taking it in, and he won a huge event, so good for him. Yeah, so we should probably go into Will Zalatoris, another second place finish in a major. He's getting close to the Louis Oosthuizen, finishing second in all the majors. So I mean, it's tough. Like, when is he going to win one? And that last putt, so close.
That last putt. Well, first, like, forgot to give credit to Fitzpatrick. That shot on 18, the bunker, was incredible. Like, that's unbelievable under the circumstances. But the putt on 18, I thought he made it. Like, it looked pretty damn good. And it's cliche to say he's gonna win one eventually, but he absolutely is. But at the same time, you say Louis Oosthuizen vibes. I think I said this after the PGA, but if I didn't say, I definitely was thinking it. It's almost, I hate to say it, but like Ricky Fowler vibes.
A little bit.
Just finishing second and everything, but also I don't remember Ricky Fowler's run like that one year in 2014 as much as this one. And I mean, Zalatoris definitely has, like, the fact that he's competing all these, he made that putt on 16. It's not like he's choking away these things. Like, he's right there, and just losing a playoff to like one of the best players on tour, loses basically on an inch, like by an inch on that missed putt. He's so close, and like he's competed at the Masters. Every major he plays in, he basically finishes top 10. Like, he's going to win one. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and you could say his putting is terrible, but like his putting really isn't like
it's
that
not
terrible.
Bad.
Like, he makes a lot of clutch putts. I mean, I think when you get inside 3 feet, like they kind of mirror in on it, because it's kind of an ugly stroke every once in a while. He had a few of those in the final round, but he made them. Like, it wasn't like he was missing putts, really.
No, he like people, they overreact on how he has some weeks of like negative strokes gained playing, but he was plus 1.7 strokes gained playing this week
on a U.S. Open course.
I
think he just, like, when the greens get faster, he putts better for some reason.
He made like a lot, like his putting stroke from like outside 10 feet or outside 5 feet is fantastic, and you assume he's going to make some of these long putts, and he did. And if he doesn't make him, he's hitting him like if at most a couple feet by, and he has that, just they zoned in on it, like that weird, just like it's almost like a pump fake, and it's hard to watch. It truly is, but it works. He's got it down, and he's not really missing any. He missed like I think one shorty on Sunday, but like it's not like he's like Hideki or like Luke List is a terrible putter. Like, he's not like he's one of those guys. Like, he's making putts when he has to.
Yeah, and listen, he's amazing off the tee. He's probably one of the top 5 ball strikers in the world in terms of like approach, and his short game is very underrated. He's really good at short game. Like, his wedges are always like inside 100 yards, always pretty close. So, you just got to worry about hitting it too close, because then you get that weird putting stroke. But again, like, you're right. I think he's gonna win one. I think maybe he needs to just get like one of those PGA Tour wins out of the way, like a normal event. And then we could go for a major, because like it seems like he always performs really well in the majors. I mean, obviously he performs pretty well during the normal PGA Tour events, but I think he just needs to get one under his belt. Know what it feels like to win, and then we go from there.
It'll be interesting to see how he reacts from. So I heard apparently he was like, he knew he was right there. Like he knew it was really like he could win a major after the PGA last month, and then like after like a heartbreak like this, it's kind of like it'll be interesting to see how. I hope he reacts well, but it'll be interesting to see how he reacts.
I mean, you could talk about Matt Fitzpatrick at PGA. He was kind of in contention, and then it all fell apart for him in the last round.
He fell apart though. It wasn't.
Yeah, and he comes back and wins the next one. So yeah, and Zalatoris played way better than that. I think he just
absolutely
beat by the better player when it came down to it.
It's hard to beat a guy who hits 17 greens.
Exactly.
It's
I mean, whatever. He couldn't get a single putt to fall, but again, he was hitting all the greens, so 2-putt and move on every green pretty much. So that usually wins you a U.S. Open. So
and Zalatoris' 3 best strokes gained tournaments of the year: the Masters, PGA, and U.S. Open.
Turns it all in the majors.
All in the majors, and then he obviously the Farmers where he finished second too because he missed that putt on 18 too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm rooting. So I think everyone is. Everyone's rooting. So he is like he's comparable to Ricky in the sense that everyone I think is rooting for him now, and just to win one or get like win a tournament because everyone like he seems like a great guy and he's like. He's just fun to root for and fun to watch, and it's I hope I'm assuming he's going to win one. I'm hoping he's going to win one. I just don't, but like it could happen.
He's mature beyond his years. I mean, the way he handled coming in second again, probably couldn't have handled it any better. So we'll see him again in the future, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And then like one more thing, Scotty Scheffler, he was in the hunt again. He started off blazing on fire. I think he had a disadvantage of being 2 groups ahead of the final group, but he was in there the whole time. He was making some putts, and then it kind of, went downhill. But like, I don't know, I thought he was going to win it when I forget what hole it was, but it was early on where he had a chip from the bottom of the hill, chipped it on the green. It rolled back to his feet. Then he chipped it up again and he made par, I believe, saved par. So, I mean, I thought he was going to win right there, but then it just like didn't really go well for him the rest of the way.
Yeah, and it kind of the same thing happened on Saturday. He got to like 600, got in the lead, and it's almost like he realized he was in the lead, and then it kind of just blew up a little bit. Like on Saturday, he went like 5 over in 4 holes, and he had that terrible 11th hole where he hit it over the green. Like it was just a horrible mistake. And the 8 was obviously didn't make bogey, but it was like a bad mistake to make, and it cost him in the end. So
yeah, whatever. We're like a little less than a third or a little less than 3/4 through the season right now, and he's now made the most money from events in a single tour season ever, and we still have plenty of events to go. So
and you can say the money's gotten bigger, and which it has, but also since really like Tiger's prime and the money's gotten bigger, like the fact that only one person's really behind him on that list, and that's Jordan Spieth, is kind of tells you how good this season is, how good he is.
Jordan Spieth, and like Patrick Cantlay had an unbelievable season last year. I think he's now second on that list. So I mean, like, and that was a full season. So it is kind of crazy to see that he's in the hunt almost every week. Rightfully the number 1 player in the world.
Yeah, absolutely the best player in the world.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps it up for the U.S. Open. Again, what a great tournament. I mean, the Country Club didn't miss.
Awesome.
I mean, the Country Club, they need to go get that in the rotation.
Absolutely. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if the members love that, but they definitely should try to get it.
The fact that it's like 600 yards shorter than Torrey Pines and it plays like that, like it was so like the rock formation
was great.
The undulations, the blind shots is so much more fun to watch than even like a Torrey or a Winged Foot or something like that.
Yeah, and there's just something about the crowd there as well. Just you get that Boston crowd, and Boston doesn't have enough tournaments in the area, so
it's also just sick just calling it the country club. Like that's just,
I know.
That's just really
the history behind it, even though they're going to mention it like over and over and over again, like
times.
But whatever. I mean, the history behind it's pretty sick. And it's just a good golf course. So we'll see if they could get that in the rotation, because it definitely deserves to be in it. Yeah. So moving on from the US Open, we do have a little LIV golf news breaking today, I guess yesterday, if you're listening to the podcast on Wednesday. Brooks Koepka to the LIV Golf Tour. Not super surprising, I would say, but because Chase was there, maybe it was like a joint deal, but like a little surprising. He kind of dodged all the questions this week in the media, got very defensive about it.
Like, I'm not really, like you said, I'm not really surprised like by it. Like, I think if you look at that list, and we were looking at the list, and they were like last week, and we were saying like one top 16 guy or something like that is going as, and I don't know if we mentioned Brooks Koepka, or I don't know if he's in the top 16 anyway, but
he is.
Like, he seemed like the kind of guy who would like kind of like the same vibe as DJ, just kind of just wants, doesn't really care. And he's definitely that kind of guy. We've known that for years. But the way, and like, I don't care if, like, I really don't care about him, and I know how his motto is, but the way he acted on Thursday or Wednesday when the press conference and saying, like, why you keep asking me this, like, it's annoying, I'm trying to focus on the US Open, which that's fine, but like, they're gonna ask, like, you knew they were gonna ask you that because your brother's in it, and this whole thing is going on, they're asking everyone about it.
Yeah.
But then you come out and you join the LIV Tour after that. It's just like that pisses me off a little bit, the fact, like, that whole sequence, and then it turns into this thing, and I don't know, I that just annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it you could kind of see it coming, like, because when you speak about the LIV Tour, and then you speak about Brooks Koepka, who, like, some people are unsure if he even really likes golf that much. Like, he's not like, he plays for money, but like, that's kind of like it. And like, obviously he wants to win the majors. If he's allowed to play in the majors, and LIV Golf allows him to spend a little more time away from the golf course, like, Brooks Koepka is like your number one guy right there that would want to do that. So like, it does make sense, like, in that sense. But
definitely, and I'm surprised we never thought about it sooner too. Like,
yeah, I mean,
never thought about
when
it sooner.
Chase
like,
was there,
it's perfect for him. Yeah,
when Chase was there, like, it made sense. Like, he was definitely linked, and I think they were a joint deal. I think Brooks was trying to get his brother a good deal in the LIV Tour, and Brooks comes over, and that, you get Chase, you get Brooks. So I mean, good for them.
Bryson, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping it's like $1, just
$1 more. That'd be amazing.
That'd be great. But yeah, Brooks is there. Abraham Answer, another that one's surprising. That's your guy. I didn't think he was gonna go to there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He hasn't really done anything on the PGA Tour. He's won like a WGC, and that's really it. And I guess I'm not really surprised, but at the same time, not really. Like, I would be surprised. I wouldn't be. I don't know. I was kind of just met on him either way. Wouldn't have been surprised if he went. Wouldn't have been surprised if he stayed, I guess.
Yeah. So now you got number 19 and number 20 in the world, Koepka and Answer now.
And there was the rumors on Morikawa, which he debunked, thankfully.
Yeah, this morning.
that would have been a big blow.
If Morikawa left,
for pouring milk before.
Yeah, Max Homa called that one out.
JT.
Yeah, and JT. I mean, yeah, Morikawa staying, but there is still speculation behind Hideki and Patrick Cantlay.
Hovland
has been moved around in there. Yeah, I I don't know. Like, and what happens if the LIV Golf does go ahead and buy the DP World Tour? Like, then it might be chaos, because then you have this real tour behind it where you could get official world golf ranking points, and it might take a lot more players. We might just have Rory and JT in a match every week on the PGA Tour, and those are the only two players on the PGA.
It will, if they buy the DP World Tour, it'll be like, it legit might be curtains to the PGA Tour. Like, they obviously we can talk about what they changed to with their current structure, adding these 8 events, what they offer with 50 players, no cut, 20 million purse, which is the same as the players.
They're pretty much going to back to a calendar schedule, like a yearly schedule. And starting in 2023, you're right, 8 events, the 50-man fields based on the FedEx Cup rankings from the year before. So top 50 gets into the field. Again, you said $20 million purses, which was the same as the players, which was the richest event this year.
My question is, are they creating new events, or are they just like having these be like the Arnold Palmer Memorial?
I'm gonna guess they probably won't create new events. That wouldn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they should. I think if they create new events, that would just dilute the quality of like the Arnold Palmer Memorial, Riviera, stuff like that.
I mean, I mentioned this in our chat a little bit earlier. I think this should just replace the WGCs. Like that would make
just honestly, just get rid of the WGCs. No one really cares about those anyway. The match play is cool, but like just if they made it so that these like the like already elevated field events like Riviera, like Arnold Palmer, like Memorial, Torrey, that kind of thing, if they made it so that these events or at least some of them get like that boost, kind of like I think that would make sense. But like they very well could be making just whole new events, and like we have like with no history behind them, which that's the kind of
what LIV Golf is.
It's like that's basically like what LIV Golf is doing. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't give, like, if it's like $20 million purse at Bay Hill and 50-man field, like that's pretty interesting. Like, I think there's much that incites the players more, incites the fans more. Like I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's like an incentive into like getting in those, because like right now LIV Golf is kind of like a free for all. Like you have to finish top 50 in the FedEx Cup standings to get into these elevated events. I think Jay Monahan said that there was going to be some events that like mirror them, that are kind of like for other players to help keep their tour card. Like they're just
same. So basically the same thing as opposite field events.
You know, like I mean, Punta Cana, whatever, and then
Puerto Rico,
the Puerto Rico Open. Yeah, like they're gonna have these other events with them, and basically for those events, if you do well in those events, you have more privilege on the PGA Tour the next year. So when you get your card, you could enter more events, and you don't have to Monday qualify for some of them.
So basically, I'm getting this straight. It's basically just. It's essentially the same thing as WGCs. Just basically, more of them,
just more money,
more of them, more money, and different way of qualifying for it.
Exactly, pretty much. Which honestly, I was calling for them to replace the WGCs. I think it makes sense to replace them, and this is not a terrible idea. It does get some players to stay, especially your top players in the world, your top 50 in the world. Like they're now incentivized to stay. Yeah, those are not the ones you want to like. You want to keep those guys. Like I don't think they really care if they lose, you know, somebody who's outside the top 50, really. So
I think they basically, I think as long as they keep like the 5 they need to keep basically are Rory, JT, Jordan, Rahm, and Morikawa. And if they keep those 5,
Scheffler.
Scheffler's right. Yeah, Scheffler there. Cam's kind of iffy. If I feel like it could be iffy. If they keep those 6 guys, basically, like everyone else will kind of follow those guys, and like they'll be the guys that obviously they'll be the people that break away. But it's, if those 6 are there, that means there's something still to care about on the PGA Tour, and players will want to beat those guys and put up competing records against those guys, like money, wins. Like there's still a FedEx Cup, and if anything, it gives some guys there, like a Davis Riley, more of a chance to emerge and be one of those top guys and get win the FedEx Cup potentially and win those events. Like it's
get on a
opportunity. It's an opportunity for those like fringe, like top, like you said, top 50 guys, or even top like 20 guys that you don't really hear about as nearly as much as those like the Brookses or Matt Fitzpatricks, and they'll swoop in and they'll win a few more events, and they'll become more household names.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just something we'll have to see what happens, because I'm sure by the time this podcast comes out tomorrow, like another name or two is going to be released.
And by next week it'll be someone else will come out to the DP Tour, and it's an ever evolving landscape, and it's still really interesting to see what happens with golf in general, let alone the PGA Tour.
We'll have to see. But yeah, I guess that's enough of that talk for this week, because we're going to be doing it next week and the week after and the week after that, I'm sure. Yep. So with that being said, we do have a tournament this week on the PGA Tour. So let's get into skins. All right, skins. So we have one of our favorite tournaments this week, Travelers Championship, right off the back of the US Open. The fifth major is what we call it. Pretty good field, not gonna lie. Like I was surprised when I saw the field list this week. Having Scheffler, McIlroy, JT, Cantway, like
really good field.
Spieth, like really good field this
week.
It
helps that they're going from Boston to Connecticut.
Yeah, it's literally like an hour and a half drive, like not even.
It's not far. It's not like they're going from Torrey to Connecticut, which is that would change things.
It does definitely help that. But again, we do really like this tournament. It is a short PGA Tour course. I think it's the second shortest course on the schedule to that Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which they make short for a reason. There's 8 par 4s, 400 to 450 yards. There's that drivable par 4 on 15 that most of the field is going to go for. I think it's like 296, which is nothing for them. So yeah, driving distance doesn't really matter. I mean, like we've had big hitters win, like DJ's won this tournament, and then we've had some of the shorter hitters win it. Ches Reavie, for example, has won this tournament. Pete Dye design. This is a Bubba Watson course. Unfortunately, Bubba's hurt, but Bubba Watson's won this event like 5 or 6 times. So can't pick him, but maybe some of the lefties, like some lefties have won this tournament before. It does fit their games pretty well. Just looking at key stats: strokes gained approach, par 4s gained 400 to 450. And, strokes gained off the tee. You do want to stay in the fairway. I mean, you've played this course before, Trev.
I did. I played last summer. It's played great in the front 9, terrible in the back, but it's definitely, you got here. I mean, the rough is thick for me, but it's basically just it's a second shot golf course. Like you'll have a lot of opportunities to hit. Like there's fairways are decently wide, but it's just like as you hit the ball and if you hit good iron shots, like it's like that makes a huge difference. And like especially 15, 16, 17, 18, like those 4 holes are just. Those decide the tournament a lot, especially in that tee shot 15. So it's fun. It's definitely a really fun tournament to watch. So
I was looking through the past winners, and like I think something that is in common with all of them is they all probably had pretty good ball striking weeks when they came out here. If you get hot striking the ball, especially approaching the green, like this is your tournament to win. Putting and off the tee don't really matter as much, but last year Harris English won, Dustin Johnson the year before that, Ches Reavie, Bubba Watson, Jordan Spieth, Russell Knox. I mean, some pretty marquee names in there.
Very, very diverse list of players, like in how they play.
So like there's no real type of player to look at, but if you just look at the last couple of tournaments, look at their ball striking, look at their approach, like some guys who are striking the ball really well, they're going to do well in this tournament. So with that being said, let's get into some picks. Pat's not here this week, but I guess I'll start off with his winner pick. He's picking Harold Varner III. I found him at 65 to 1. Again, he kind of fits the profile. He's had good ball striking weeks, and he's not super long off the tee, but again, don't need to be long off the tee in this tournament. Strike the ball well, make some putts. I kind of like the pick. Not a favorite, but definitely a good solid pick. Fits the Ches Reavie profile when it comes to players winning this tournament. With that being said, we each have picks as well. I mean, you want to go first, Trev?
Sure, I'll go. I don't know who you guys picked last week, but I picked Matt Fitzpatrick to win. And I will pick Davis Riley. Seems like a place where he's just gonna, like, he made the cut at the US Open last week, and he's a great ball striker, so I'm gonna pick him for his first PGA Tour win. I feel like he kind of fits the mold. I kind of comp him to, like, maybe they don't play the exact same or have the exact same stats, but I comp him to like a Harris English, even like a Jordan Spieth kind of player, like just a good solid ball striker, great swing. So I like him to win. He's one of the actually favorites, and like I think it's 36 to 1. And then on my prop pick, I'll pick Tommy Fleetwood, top Englishman, plus 200. All he has to do is beat, I think, Aaron Rai and Matt Wallace, and then there's Danny Willett down there. So
yeah,
it should be It's not terrible. Basically has to beat 5 guys, 6 guys, and
yeah, he's finished T13 the only time he's played this tournament. So
yeah, great ball striker again, and I don't know, like his chances.
Yeah, maybe it's an English. Maybe he gets a win this week. Englishman getting their first PGA Tour win too.
Maybe he's inspired by Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah. So my pick, I'm gonna go with Brian Harman. He's 50-1. I said the course fits the lefties kind of well. Again, he also fits the Ches Reavie profile. He was T5 last year, has a bunch of top 10 finishes at this course. Something about TPC River Highlands just fits the lefties for some reason.
Yeah.
And then next up, I have a top 20, Mark Leishman, plus 180. Finished T14 last week at the US Open, which I didn't even realize he finished that high. Again, also solid course history. He's won at this course before. So Mark Leishman may be coming off pretty good US Open. We can make that happen. And then top 40, I'm going to pick another lefty. Why not? Hank Lebioda, plus 320. He's coming off a T28, the RBC Canadian. He was T5 at this event last year. Again, lefties, TPC River Highlands, just works for some reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so those are the picks. Do you want to do like a hole-in-one draft? Three players each?
Sure. And I have a couple things to shout out after this too.
Actually. Okay, yeah, we'll get inside the clubhouse after. Let's do a hole-in-one draft here.
Okay.
Let me pull up the tournament field. I'll start it off. I'll go with Keegan Bradley.
I'll go Maverick McNeely.
Okay.
And then I'll go.
Yeah, you have another one.
I'll go Keith Mitchell.
Like it. Shot in the dark here. Let's see here. Give me Beau Hossler. Yeah, I like Beau Hossler for a hole-in-one. And then
played terrible in the weekend last week.
Yeah, I know, but he's gonna get hole-in-one this week. And then let's go way down here. Let's see here. How about Rory Sabatini? Why not?
Interesting. I like that. My last pick, I'll go with Sung J M.
Okay.
I was big on him last week.
That's the hole-in-one draft.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit one week, I'm sure.
We need to.
You kind of just throw out random names, which is funny, but
yeah,
that's kind of how hole-in-ones work. So, okay. So with that being said, let's get in the clubhouse.
I have a couple of things. One, Rory teases my emotions every single week in the major, and it's really getting old. But I think he's playing better. So I think he's actually going to win. I think he could win St. Andrews, and I think he could, if he keeps playing like this, he could win a major next year for sure.
I'm excited for St. Andrews. I've been excited for that one all year. That one's been circled on my calendar.
Yeah,
sure.
Really looking forward to that.
There's so many guys that I like in that, which is
I know
even worse.
I know it'll make for some interesting lineups and picks, and I'm really looking forward. Tiger will be back, which will be awesome. I'm sure we won't hear anything about that for the next month or two. It just occurred to me too. Matt Fitzpatrick has played in Dubai events before and stuff, and like in the European Tour.
He played in those events because he's had to play in those events because he hasn't been
the European Tour
in the top. Like he had to get his way over.
Yeah, that's very reasonable, and I could be completely wrong, and I hope I am, but like just occurred to me like he could he's had links before, I guess, like just those soft links. He kind of like he could be a name.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, and like and people say they're committed, and then they'll commit 2 months later, like JT or then JT, DJ and Pat Perez. So you never know.
Who knows?
And the coverage this week was just awful. Like until the final round, basically, it was so bad. Like
I timed it out in the final round actually, because the final round was kind of bad too. There was a commercial break every 7 minutes in the final round up until the final hour where they went commercial free, which is I guess they front loaded commercials, which is fine. Final hour commercial free, great. But on Saturday, they were walking up 18 and they had like a commercial break.
It's mind boggling how many commercials, and then they go to a segment on the bartender there, which is like, it's interesting, but like, it's like, I don't like, it's Saturday at the US Open. I want to watch the golf. Like if they're on the back nine, I want to watch the golf instead of seeing 10 million commercials every 2 seconds about Despicable Me. Like, and it's crazy how little golf we were able to see. Like they would skip.
They showed us a lot of shots.
Yeah, like Rory was just cut out of coverage at one point on Sunday. We missed Zalatoris's basically entire fourth hole, and he's just he's only 2 shots back, and then the fourth hole of a major.
Oh, the worst thing that happened on Sunday is Scheffler made a birdie to take the lead like early on, and they teased it. They were like, oh, and Scheffler goes up to 5 under, and I was like, are you gonna show it to us? Like, what do you mean Scheffler goes up to 5 under? They show the scoreboard.
They show the scoreboard change. So they say Scheffler's made a birdie. We'll show that to you next. And
then they get through the putt, and then they show Scheffler. I'm like, well, I know already.
What was the point?
Why did you do that? Like,
what was the point? And it's messed up. And then Danny McCarthy, 2 holes later, they show him he made a birdie on 6 that you see on the scoreboard, and then you see his putt on 6 that he's making. They're acting like they never teased it all. It's like,
it's like, I'm not at the event. Like you could wait a couple seconds. I don't.
How hard is it to just wait? Like you don't have to say anything. Like just wait and show the putt and act like it just say like just a moment ago. That's what that phrase is for. It doesn't make any sense to me. Going off that, Nick Faldo's done.
Yeah, Nick Faldo leaving CBS, which I mean, I think he's just like retiring. Like I think he's just like we're not Nick Faldo stands at all. Like we don't really like him at all. But I think he's like moving to a farm in Montana, and that's going to be his life now. That's fine.
That's
fine. I think they're promoting Immelman, right? As the
guy named Trevor.
One guy. Yeah, Trevor Immelman.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. I like him.
And I mean, he gives Faldo just doesn't really
get it.
He just kind of mumbles and rambles on all the time and doesn't.
It's fun. It is funny sometimes, especially when they're when it's like not a marquee tour event and like you're just kind of like watching. It is kind of funny to hear what Nick Faldo's gonna say, but
he's gotten a lot more hate recently, and then obviously the thing at the Masters with Rory, that was really bad, and just like amplified all that, and got like part of my take talking about it, like that's how bad it was, and then so it just, you know what, dude, go do his own thing. That's fine. I'm happy for him, but I'm happy I won't have to see him on the golf world or broadcast anymore. Yeah,
definitely. I agree. I'm not a big Nick Faldo fan, so wish him well in retirement. That's it. I mean, again, NBC didn't have a good coverage this week for the US Open. The LIV Tour would never do that.
No. LIV Tour. The only good things about the LIV Tour is that the PGA Tour should take just some of their presentation of the tournaments. They could definitely, the live leaderboard's very cool.
Yeah.
And shotgun start's interesting, but also at the same time, you kind of don't really know where everyone is. I wouldn't mind for the CSGA, we did a shotgun start, but we would the last 3 groups, like the leaders basically in tournaments, like if it was a shotgun, the last 3 groups would all go off one,
right?
Like kind of like after each other,
staggering,
which is like, that makes it a little bit more watchable. I think it would make it watchable. But
I mean, I could deal with a shotgun start for Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, they could definitely do that, and like get them off the course much quicker.
The only thing I'll say about LIV Golf when we watched the first broadcast is they were having trouble like filling some of the extra time, just because like, there was no commercials, and I think on like if you watched all 3 days, they were just showing the same like little cutscene promo things over and over again,
which is expected.
Annoying,
that's
like I heard Chase Koepka, and I was like, I'm here for the Chase Koepka like hype promo, but then I heard it again on Friday, and then I saw it again on Saturday, and I was like, okay, like I saw this 3 times now, so
it's gotta. I mean, the LIV Tour is just like you don't really know what you're gonna get, but like definitely like the live leaderboard, the less commercials, the PGA Tour should take notice. And I mean, credit to Mike Wan, the USGA. He said he heard all the backlash about the commercial load on Saturday and said that we will fix this. And like in the last hour, no commercial free. I mean, I watched on tape today because I didn't want to know what happened and I wanted to watch it. But I watched that last hour like all the way through, and it was incredible. Like that was really awesome. And they can definitely do. If they wanted to front load on Saturday morning and Sunday morning to do that, that's fine. But like it's like you can't have it late Saturday afternoon, and then late, like probably the best day of viewing that day, like was like everything was going on. Like you can't have that little golf shown that day. It's mind boggling.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, you got to pay the bills, but especially if the PGA, it's going to make the purses even higher. But anyway, yeah, I mean, all in all, still was a great tournament.
Absolutely.
That was a little annoying, but again, a great tournament. I enjoyed it. And then, I mean, we have the Travelers coming up this week. Should enjoy that one as well. Always love this tournament.
What's next week? Do we know?
PGA Tour schedule.
I literally I think it's
it's
John Deere.
Yeah, John Deere. Yeah, Travelers, John Deere. I think you have the Scottish Open, which is now
Scottish and Barbasol.
Yeah, the Scottish Open is now like a PGA Tour like event.
That's cool. I think that's cool. I think
they figured most of their players are going there for the Open the week after. So
and then we have that Pro-Am that Tiger's playing and all these guys are playing, and which will be crazy.
But yeah, I mean, there's some good tournaments left, and then the FedEx Cup playoffs are quickly approaching, which maybe aren't as fun as they used to be, but still pretty fun nonetheless. So
I'll probably go to the Tour Championship actually down in Atlanta. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, great week of golf, and see you next week.